minutes. Anyone who goes to Temple Israel knows that I am an absolute stickler for starting on time, so I am always a little crazy about that. It's part of my anal disposition.
And the rest of us are similarly afflicted with life.
Can you guys all hear me okay? Yeah. All right, we got like 1 minute.
And I'm talking about ending at 7 o'clock.
That's a good one.
It's important, right? That is equally as important. Okay, why don't we go ahead and get started? For those of you who don't know me, I'm Rabbi Arthur Stern, and I want to, first of all, thank Temple for Sholom, Sam and Rabbi Datz for having us over here to share Friday night Shabbat services with you all. We're really, really pleased and really grateful, so really thank you very much. And I want to thank Rabbi Datz for sharing the pulpit with me tonight. I feel honored to be up here. Okay. So that being said, let's just take a moment to close our eyes and take a few deep breaths and separate ourselves from the week and align ourselves for Shabbat so we can pray with kavanah, with intention and with purpose. So just breathe in and breathe out. Okay, we're back. All right, so we're going to go ahead and light the Shabbat candles, and then I'm going to say a little prayer for what's going on in the Middle East. So Sam and Pamela, you guys want to come up and light the candles for us this evening? So since Pam's my boss, I had to figure some way to get her in the service. All right, we're on page 2 for the Shabbat candles, everybody. All together, let's go ahead and say the prayer for the Shabbat candles. You guys have matches? Okay. Everybody ready? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'adlikner shel Shabbat. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Of light and truth. Creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who come to this sanctuary indeed. All who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Beautiful. Oh, thanks so much, you guys. Okay. All right, before we start our service, I'm going to read a prayer for the Israeli Defense Forces, for all of really the turmoil that's going on in the Middle East. It's been such a sad couple of months for that. May the one who brought blessings to our fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and to our mothers Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel, bless the soldiers of Israel's defense forces and all who stand guard in order to protect the land of Israel. Give them strength against our enemies and strengthen their spirit to preserve their highest moral values at this time of trial. Protect them from all troubles and afflictions so that they will return in peace and joy to their families and friends, and may they prosper as human beings and be citizens of their land. right, so we also have another special occasion tonight, and I'm going to ask Harry and Deborah to come up and read a prayer for us on page 6. It says it begins with, "We entered the sanctuary." So it is Harry and Deborah's 55th wedding anniversary today. So 55. That's almost as long as I've been alive.
Good luck with that.
Son.
Yeah, that right there.
We enter this sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long journey in history and in its wanderings, it has endured. A beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer.
Okay. Let's see. We're on page 8, and Rita, how about you? You want to come and read something in English? Rita hates me for this. But I have to give Rita some credit because she helped me find my house.
What does she do?
So this is a prayer of gratitude.
What's that?
And you should begin with a prayer.
Right, that's true. So we're on page 8, everybody, with a prayer of gratitude.
I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services. But I need them. Through prayer I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other. To work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, so our first song this evening is on page 10. Please join me in all this singing. At the top of the page, we're going to do Hine Matov. Hine Matov Manai Sheberachim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Manai Sheberachim Gam Yachad. All right. We're on page 18 for Mizmor LeDavid, everybody. All right, please join me. Mizmor LeDavid, Avu Adonai b'nei Eli, Avu Adonai kavod, Avu Adonai kevod shemo, Ishtachavu l'Adonai v'har kodesh, kol welcoming the ministering angels. And we'll go to page 24 for Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShaharei, Malachei Elyon, Mi-Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Orchem l'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi-Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu l'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi-Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sehem l'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi-Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Terrific. All right, good job. All right, we're on page 26. Yitkada v'yitkada shemei Rabbah, ve'amari rakirtei ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayelecho v'yomecho, u'chayelecho be'Yisrael. Ba'agala, ba'agala, u'izman kaharim, v'yimeru, amen. Yehesh me'Rabbah mevorach, le'olam le'olam me'amaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitbar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitdaleh, v'yitdalav, Shmei Kedusha, Ritu, le'elam mikol berchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nefemata, ta'amir amiyama, v'yimeru, amen. Okay, that brings us to our call to worship tonight on page 28. And I'll do the call to worship, and then I'll turn it over to Michael to Rabbi Jatz after that. Okay, page 28. Baruch Hu, please rise as we do the call to worship. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Umavir yom u'evilayla, umavdil v'yom u'evilayla, Adonai Tzebaot Shemo, Elchai v'kayam, Tamid lo chaleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch ata Adonai, Ha'ma'arif ha'ravim. Okay, you may be seated.
We'll continue on page 33 at the middle of the page responsibly. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol.
All these things are given to us.
And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more he grows and gives.
What could be a truer token of your abiding love?
In this holiest of your works, in the living language that gives it form. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohem Amo Yisrael. On the next page. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one, and blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Middle of page 39. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
Thy heavens declare your glory, the earth reveals justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered, at Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work to the day when the nations will be one in peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel, singing allegiance to the
On the next page. Mi kamocha mi madanai, mi kamocha nerako odesh. No tehila, o sehefele, no tehila, o sehefele. Together at the top of 43. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. And our help storm with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up firmly to your will. Baruch atah Adonai, HaPorei Sifat Shalom Aleinu, V'Hakol Amo Yisrael, V'Al Yerushalayim. Page 45. We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha'shava la'asot et ha'shava v'dorah brito la'am. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha'shava la'asot et ha'shava v'dorah brito la'am. B'nei b'nei Yisrael 155. We'll stand for the Amidah, and we will do a silent Amidah from 155 to the silent prayer on page 167.
Shalom B'Broma, Uyase Shalom Aleinu, Ve'yakol Yisrael, V'yimru, Amen. Yase Shalom, Yase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'yakol Yisrael, Yase Shalom, Yase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ya'akol Yisrael. Yase Shalom, Yase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ya'akol Yisrael. Yase Shalom, Yase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ya'akol Yisrael. Yase Shalom, Yase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ya'akol Yisrael.
We turn ahead now to page 253 as we continue with our prayer for healing. We keep in our thoughts this evening continued good wishes and recovery for Lucy Karen and Lee Seltzer, Terry Singer, Elaine Piltz, Howard Piltz, Nancy Keel, and Heidi Singer. Are there others whose names we'd like to keep in our thoughts?
I got you that first from Alan Cohen. Sheldon Hewitt. Judy Morgan.
Very well. Bishop Eric Altini Bimotena Abraham Yitzchak Yaakov Sarah Kara Kavalea. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. May the blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And together let us say, Amen. Lisa, Deb, I'm going to need help with this one. Page 259. Shalom, Shalom, Yerushalayim. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. Together, O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise. Guide them through good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. And together let us say, Amen. Approaching the end of the year and the start of the next, I was searching for an appropriate message tonight. Having spent 5 lovely days in San Juan earlier this month, attending the Reformed Temple the Friday night that I was there, learning the history of that small congregation, how it had over several decades transformed from an Anglo-Saxon import to a something more authentically Latin congregation, and wandering around the various neighborhoods of the city and seeing how it had moved forward since the devastating hurricane a few years ago. Freshly painted buildings, newly planted trees and shrubs, old buildings newly restored. Seeing all this, it offered an appropriate New Year's message about leaving the past behind and making a fresh start. But the events of the past few months still weigh heavily on our minds, don't they? And we are still processing how and why and when our most elite universities could have become breeding grounds for such visceral anti-Semitism. Still puzzling over how the presidency of Harvard University could have passed from a distinguished scholarly and accomplished Jew such as Larry Summers to its current and somewhat less accomplished President Claudine Gay, who explains that whether hate-filled anti-Semitic speech is permitted and protected at Harvard depends on the context. 2 things happened to me this week, however. I watched the movie Woman in Gold for a second time, starring Helen Mirren. I don't know if you remember the movie, hopefully you do. Starring Helen Mirren as Maria Altman. It is a story of a wealthy and cultured Viennese Jewish family who were robbed of their art collection, homeland, and identities by the Nazis, and their legal battle to reclaim those paintings from the Austrian government. A day or so before that, I read an essay by Meyer Soloveichik. He's the New York City rabbi, whom I admire greatly. An essay entitled Scalia's Prophecy. The two, the movie and the essay, coalesce beautifully into a message worth carrying forward into the new year alongside our heavy hearts. Here are the most salient excerpts. On May 8, 1997, Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia delivered what may have been the most important speech of his life. Strikingly, the address had nothing to do with jurisprudence. Delivered in the Capitol Rotunda, the justice's remarks focused on the horrors of history. Yet Scalia looked to not only the past but also the future. His words have proved terrifyingly prescient. The occasion of the address, was a ceremony marking Holocaust Memorial Day. The justice reflected that, as honored as he was to participate, he found the invitation difficult to undertake as a non-Jew. I am an outsider speaking to an ancient people about a tragedy of unimaginable proportions that is intensely personal to them. Scalia further reflected, I am not only not a Jew, I am a Christian, and said he believed that the anti-Semitism of Christendom had helped set the stage for the mad tragedy that the National Socialists produced. He stressed, however, that for him, the ceremony of the day was personal. When I was a young man in college, spending my junior year abroad, I saw Dachau. Later in the year after I graduated from law school, I saw Auschwitz. I will never, of course, forget the impression they made upon me. But the most important part of the speech was yet to come. Scalia stressed that it was not enough to remember the Holocaust. Rather, he said, one must mark the sort of society in which it occurred. The one message I want to convey to you today is that you will have missed the most frightening aspect of it all if you do not appreciate that it happened in one of the most educated, most progressive, most cultured countries in the world. The Germany of the early 20th century, he noted, was a world leader in most fields of art, science, and intellect. Its universities were some of the most celebrated on earth. Yet this did not prevent Nazism from suffusing society. In fact, German education and Nazism went hand in hand. Then suddenly Scalia switched from the past to the present and focused on his own family. This aspect of the matter is perhaps so prominent in my mind because I am undergoing currently the task of selecting a college for the youngest of my children, or perhaps more accurately, trying to help her select. American parents, Scalia reflected, place so much value today on what is taught in academic institutions, yet the opportunities afforded there, he argued, are of only secondary importance to our children and to the society that their generation will create. The Holocaust, Scalia argued, the Holocaust is a reminder of the importance of imparting moral wisdom above all else. And it is this, he was implicitly saying, the parents must bear in mind as they ponder the intellectual future of their progeny. I thought of Scalia's speech as I watched the videos of student rallies in prominent American universities celebrating the atrocities wrought by Hamas, rejoicing in the murder of Jews. It is not too much to say that these assemblies have summoned the specter of Nuremberg. They reflect the very curriculum they have been taught. Rabbi Ari Berman, the president of Yeshiva University, called on all university presidents to issue with moral clarity for their entire university the message that the perpetrators of these evils must be fought, and that what happened should never happen again. Since Rabbi Berman's clarion call, some universities have joined a statement organized by Yeshiva, which forthrightly states, "We stand united with Israel opposing Hamas." In stark contrast, many of those leading some of the most celebrated academic institutions that has festered within the Academy for some time. When those statements were issued, I read them with horror but not with surprise. And then suddenly one online video caught my eye. The setting of the clip was anything but academic. It was taken from the broadcast of a football game featuring the Kansas City Chiefs. A moment of silence was held to mark the memory of those murdered in Israel. And then from the crowd rose one sports fan's plaintive cry, an unsophisticated but defiant denunciation of terror. F Hamas. It struck me that this one anonymous attendee at a game hundreds of miles away from any Ivy League institution had somehow sounded more and more clarity than most university presidents in America, and that if the West was to be saved, it would be through the ability to call evil by its name. Or, as Scalia reflected, it is the purpose of these annual Holocaust remembrances, as it is the purpose of the nearby Holocaust Museum, not only to honor the memory of the 6 million Jews and 3 or 4 million other poor souls caught up in this 20th century terror, but also by keeping the memory of their tragedy painfully alive to prevent its happening again. The latter can be achieved only by acknowledging and passing on to our children the existence of absolute, uncompromisable standards of human conduct. Mankind has traditionally derived such standards from religion, and the West has derived them from and through the Jews. The past horrible months have been clarifying in many ways, including the way in which the rot in much of the Academy has been exposed. Parents across this country will be forced to ask themselves what is truly the essence of education, and where their children will be taught the moral wisdom that matters most. As their considerations commence, they would do well to read the words of one Harvard-educated lawyer who, 25 years ago, understood the answer to these questions and warned of what was yet to come and what is now upon us. May the year ahead be better than the one we leave behind. King Yehi Son, may this be God's will, as we say. We return to pages 4 and 5 for the Kiddush. Artie, would you honor us?
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech olam, borei beriah gofen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech olam, asher kiddushenu b'mitzvotav ratzavanu, b'Shabbat kadsho b'ya'avav ratzon yipilanu, zikaron l'ma'aseh bereishis, ki hu yom tefillah. L'mikroi kodesh, zecher l'tzias Mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta, yosanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, b'ya'avav ratzon.
on page 282. Mary and Deborah, I'd say 55 years is worth a second trip up here to open our doors for us. As the yard doors are open, please stand for the Alleluia. Beginning on page 288 and running through 293, there's election meditations. Please select one and focus your thoughts on that. Page 295. When we think of our loved ones whose death is recently taken from us, those who died in the season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. As the name of your loved one is called out, you're invited to stand if you so wish, and then when all the names have been read out, we will stand together for cottage. Here at Sholom, we recall the names of Judy Foster, Elizabeth Turk, Michael Falk, Daniel Bowman, Alvin Carlin, Norma Gerstel, Richard J. Spence, Ralph Hurwitz, and Hazel Holly, taken from us over the course of last year. And from across the years, we recall the names of Anna M. Ackerman, Eugene Bamberger, Edward Bartoff, Alan Beneshu, Samuel Cohen, Marvin Dax, Bess Duchin, Sophie Ensel, Ida Height, Louis E. Herman, Flora Cusel Hexter, Lena J. Kellner, Albert Chrisman, David S. Langer, Sarah R. Langer, David E. Morgan, Elizabeth S. Morse, Gene Newman, Emil B. Peacher, Max L. Reisman, Elias Salzenstein, Iris Scholes, Joseph B. Stern, William Wald, James Walden, Sam Yaffe, Julius Rothschild, and Nate Rothschild. The archive whose passing takes place at this season of the year.
And in the past, the art sites for this Shabbat at Temple Israel are Esther Agushewitz, Francine Burstein Post, Tilly Goldberg, Isidore Hornstein, Ida Ruth Victor, Morris Brosgold, Eva Weiner Holtzman, Nathan A. Holtzman, Carol Sorkin Marks, Joseph Pudik, Sarah Hyman, Rose G. Kleinman, Rebecca Stein Marcus, Ida Oberman, Maurice Pell, Samuel N. Jaffe, Harry Potash, and C.C. Stern. And in the last year at Temple Israel, Raylan Luce, Anita Mosto, Melissa Jo Rubin, Leslie Mosto, Lisa Hope Goldstein, Karen Dahlquist, Moshe Passman, Lila Mae Castigar, Joan Loeb, George Mann, David Alexander Rakoff, and Abby Lauren Robbins.
Copies can be found on page 294. Please stand.
Nancy Stanowski.
I'm sorry.
Nancy Stanowski.
Yekidal, Merabah, Allah, Tirah, Kirte, Yam, Malkute, Chayei, Yomekon, Chayei, Yehovah Israel, Ba'agalah, Bizman, Harim, Yiromeh, Yehesh, Merabah, Barah, Elah, Memai, Yitbarah, Yishtabah, Yibalar, Yitman, Yaseh, Yadar, 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 Shmei, Yishar, Yedu, Le'elah, Yikol, Yikata, Yishar, May the source of peace and peace to those who mourn, and comfort all who are bereaved among us as we say.
Amen.
Please be seated. A couple of upcoming events. Rabbi Baroff will be here the first couple of weeks in January, so his Torah study will resume. And Happy Hour is coming back January 16th. Wine and schmoozing before the 5:30 service, before the 6 o'clock service, I guess.
I'll be down tomorrow.
Pardon me?
I'll do it tomorrow.
Well, let's do it tomorrow, but only if you know that services are tomorrow at
9:30.
All right, our closing song, and this worked earlier when I still had my voice. It's on page 321. I don't belong, but to the tune of Old Lang Syne. I don't belong, Asher Malach, B'Jericho, Yitziri B'Li Ein Nasa, V'Hetzogo, Hazayin Elech, Shemoni B'Ra, V'Yar Harei, Kichlon Rakol, L'Vah, prayers above